Well, good morning. This is Ian R. Crane, and it's the morning of Wednesday, the 27th of March, 2019. And as you can clearly see, I'm not in a field. And this is primarily because I had an extremely late night last night, got back to Lancashire shortly before 3 o'clock. Having spoken in Birmingham last night. What an amazing audience in Birmingham at Truth Juice, and my thanks to Andy and Claire for organising such a superb event. The level of interest in the issue of 5G was truly, truly wonderful. And, it's great to see that the fluoride capital of England hasn't yet managed to have quite an effect on 100% of the population. And I don't know, good probably 60, 70 people at the event last night, and a lot of interest. I literally almost had to fight my way out the door to get on the road by around about quarter to midnight. Anyway, my travels continue. Today I should be heading up to Newcastle. And this evening, I shall be joined by Mark Steele and John Kitson at the Royal Station Hotel in Newcastle. I'll put the address link under this video. And tonight at 7:30, if you're in the Newcastle Gateshead area, then do come along and hear Mark. And I got to say, John Kitson, his presentation is truly excellent, and John is absolutely committed to spreading awareness of the issue of 5G around the country. And so, John has effectively dedicated this year to doing whatever he can to raise awareness amongst communities throughout the country. And of course, tomorrow morning at 10:30, Mark will be back at Newcastle Crown Court for the first time with legal representation. He has a barrister coming up from London who is absolutely on the case. And of course, tomorrow's hearing is Mark's appeal against the criminal conviction that he received last, August or so, for allegedly harassing Gateshead councillors. Well, of course, the truth of the matter is that the councillors came along to Mark's street, and Mark approached them. He recognised them. He asked them some questions that they didn't like, and then made accusations about his behaviour. And I think that the barrister's presentation in court tomorrow should show the degree to which Gateshead Council is truly desperate to avoid talking about 5G and LED street lighting. And by the way, as I shall explain tonight, whilst all eyes were on Sheffield and the tree culling in Sheffield, where some 5,000 trees have been cut down over the last few years by Amy, yet under the radar, Newcastle has culled 8,000 trees in the same period. So, this was the psyop, if you like, that all eyes were on Sheffield and the tree culling in Sheffield, whilst all around the country, trees were being culled without too much concern. And Newcastle, of course, is very much one of the 16 cities that has been identified as a 5G testbed. So if you're in the northeast and you want to learn more about what's happening in Gateshead and Newcastle with regard to 5G LED street lighting and turning Newcastle into a smart city, then join us tonight at the Royal Station Hotel, and the doors will open at 7 o'clock and the presentations will start at 7:30. Now, obviously, tomorrow is really quite a remarkable day. Not only is it the day before Brexit, maybe, but it's also the day that Lynn Thayer, David Noakes's partner, will be back in court in London at the Royal Courts of Justice, same time 10 o'clock for a 10:30 start. And of course, this is the day that Lynn will hear the verdict. There will be final submissions by both the French legal team trying to extradite Lynn to France and Lynn's own barrister. It should be a relatively short hearing, but Lynn will learn tomorrow whether or not she is to be extradited to France. And I shall be in London, so Newcastle tonight, and then I shall be hot-footing it down to London overnight to be at the Royal Courts of Justice for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, David Noakes still hasn't been released from jail, and I'm assured that this is purely down to poor prison administration, or should I say normal prison administration, because apparently there's rarely any rush to get a prisoner out, and it's just the administration of getting the tag set up so that he can be released. But of course, it's basically house arrest because he's under curfew between 7 and 7, has to report to the police station on a regular basis. So it's not exactly freedom, but probably a lot better than being in Wandsworth Nick. So unfortunately, of course, the moment that David is released, then the French will initiate the extradition proceedings against him. And, of course, Big Pharma have every intention of making sure that David Noakes and Lynn Tyre, his biochemist, never have the opportunity to undermine Big Pharma revenues ever again by producing an effective cancer treatment. And, we have to get to the point where the judiciary recognizes when the law is an ass, and actually, instead of hiding behind statute, actually makes rulings on behalf of the people. And unfortunately, Judge Supperstone is only hearing an extradition application. But hopefully tomorrow, when he is told what the charges would be if the French were charging Lynn in the UK, then hopefully the judge will have sufficient curiosity to seek a little bit more background, because for two people to be jailed, extradited, and potentially jailed again for the heinous crime of developing an extremely effective cancer treatment is an abomination. And of course, this is the corporatocracy showing its true colours. And as Judge Nicholas Lorraine Smith observed when he was hearing the Newton hearing, the run-up to the sentencing of David Noakes, he made the observation, he said, this is not a court of morality. Well, it needs to become a court of morality. And if statute is immoral, then the judiciary need to have the courage to acknowledge that and rule accordingly. Otherwise, we don't need judges. Basically, it could just simply be AI, and we know where that's going to head. No human interaction in the decision making, and basically, if the corporatocracy is calling the shots and programming the AI, then we know what the outcome will be, and it won't be pretty. And the judiciary need to demonstrate that they retain that capacity for human discernment and discretion, and not simply rubber stamp an extradition or a jail sentence because it suits the corporatocracy and protects the revenue stream of the corporatocracy at the expense of the wider population. So that's tonight, Newcastle. Tomorrow, if you're in the northeast, please come along to Newcastle Crown Courts for 10 o'clock. If you're in London and the southeast, please make an effort to come along to the Royal Courts of Justice in the Strand, again, for 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's Thursday, the 28th of March. Thursday, 28th of March. And then on Friday, of course, that should be Brexit Day. I won't be holding my breath just yet because obviously we have a treasonous house of politicians or masquerading as politicians who certainly do not represent the will of the people. These are self-serving parasites, and I think that the chaos that is potentially going to ensue after tomorrow could be truly groundbreaking. And I have no prediction as to how that's going to pan out yet, because basically once the Brexit cards are thrown into the air, who knows where they might land. But I will be in West Wales on Friday evening at St Dogmael's Community Centre, a couple of miles to the west of Cardigan, where I shall be discussing the rollout of 5G and LED street lighting in the Principality of Wales. And I'm pleased to say, I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but I'm pleased to say that the level of awareness and interest in this 5G rollout is gaining pace at a phenomenal rate. And we don't have much time because, of course, the objective is to roll this pernicious technology, this military technology, out into the civilian arena, literally from now right through to the to 2020. And the goal is to effectively have 5G up and running across much of the country by about middle of 2020. And when you see what the government and the industry have put in place to effectively prevent local authorities and local communities from stopping them rolling this technology out, you will be truly shocked. So hopefully somewhere over the next few days, one of these events will fit into your calendar. And just a quick recap, that's tonight, the Royal Station Hotel at Newcastle main train station, tonight at 7:30 for Mark, John Kitson and myself to be discussing 5G and LED street lighting in Newcastle, the northeast, and across the rest of the country. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock at either Newcastle Crown Court or the Royal Courts of Justice in London. And then on Friday evening, 7 again for 7:30 at St Dogmael's Community Hall, 2 miles to the west of Cardigan in West Wales. Okay, that's it from me. I need to go back, get another couple of hours sleep before I head up to Tyneside. So I will be back with you on Friday morning, but hopefully we'll see you either tonight or tomorrow at one of the courts. So you have a great day, and please, if you can't make either of these court cases, please make sure that both Mark and Lynn are in your thoughts. Obviously, Mark, regardless of the outcome, will still retain his liberty tomorrow. But Lynn, unfortunately, may be in a situation where she's dragged off to face potentially 2 years on remand in a French prison. And as we heard at the last application for her extradition, the condition of French prisons makes British prisons seem like palaces and five-star hotels. So this is a very, very critical moment for Lynn, and of course also for David, because it will pretty much set the scene for him. So let's make sure the courtrooms are absolutely packed tomorrow, and that the judiciary in both Newcastle and London realise that these issues are matters of extreme public interest, and the judiciary will be scrutinised and will be held to account. So thanks for joining me this morning, and thanks again to all those people who came along to Truth Juice in Birmingham last night. Outstanding evening, and look forward to seeing you again maybe in another couple of years. But you have a great day, and I'll be back with you on Friday morning. You take care now.